Hi. Oh my gosh. This is, hold on. I'm trying to set up multiple things here. Hi. So we are live here on Instagram and YouTube. So if you see me looking back and forth, that is why. I felt called to go live for a few different reasons. The first is that I've been doing a lot of just chatting, client check ins, talking to a lot of you about your growth. Some of you have joined my program, some of you haven't. But across the board, I have noticed there is like this theme that keeps coming up with people. And it is all about, let me just get my cameras lined up so I'm not looking all over the place like crazy person. Okay, I think that's good. So I've noticed this trend come up, this theme about self-sabotaging. And it is so real and so visceral, especially among high achieving women. I have a few notes here, so I'm going to be going back and forth, but essentially, so many women come to me saying that they want a better life. They want all of these things that they've been dreaming of, yet sabotage every possible opportunity to receive it. And this behavior goes so much deeper than what most people think, right? And you've seen it. Maybe you've been there. I know I have been. You want, the success, you may want the love, you may want the adventure. Yet when there's this opportunity that literally hands it to you on a silver platter, you don't take it. You find a fault in it. It's not 100% perfect. So you create all of these parameters around why you can't have it, even though it's there available for you. So let me know if this is resonating. Like, drop a heart in the chat. Um, yeah, just let's get to talking. So I have a few different points I want to make on this. And the first is the pattern of self-sabotage. And this shows up in so many ways that you might not be aware of. Before I dive in, I'm going to take a sip of my tea. I love this little mug. It says crazy plant lady. I think it's hilarious. So this pattern of self-sabotage, in my experience, the first reason it shows up is because there is a fear of success. Yes, you might desire it, right? That's why you're here. That's why you're interested in self development, growth, healing, transformation. Yet your nervous system, your mind, your experience on this earth is so used to struggle and trauma and dysfunction that you will continue to create that sort of life around you. Even if consciously you're thinking, this doesn't serve me, I want something else. Most humans tend to stay in the comfort zone. So that comfort zone can be really positive and loving and, lead to them being a very well-adjusted human being. Or your comfort zone can be literally a prison that is holding you hostage and making you think that your chains, the shackles around your wrists, are like beautiful diamond bracelets. So there's a fear of success because it's new. There's a fear of success because perhaps you've been used to struggle and strife, and everyone around you has been used to that too. So you feel like if you ascend into this next level, if you achieve success, if you have all of these things that you've been desiring, that you'll lose that. We as humans are such tribal creatures. We are communal and we want to fit in with those around us. It's like a primitive thing ever since, we were in those hunter gatherer societies. We understood inherently at that time that having the support of the community literally meant life or death. And now we've evolved in some ways, right? That part of our brain is still there, that reptilian part of the brain that just wants to like survive and make sure that we're okay, perpetuate the lineage. So even though we have evolved as human beings and we've created all of these new societal structures, we still feel like if we do something outside of the norm, it's dangerous. That if we step outside of whatever environment we're in, just because we're used to it, that means we're going to be rejected. And remember, that primal survival part of your brain wants to be accepted, wants to have that support of the group. So even if the group around you is not exactly where you want to go, you might be self sabotaging, you might have a fear of success because the comfort of community is so strong. So this fear of success can show up in so many ways. It's not even just outwardly saying, I don't want success, because that's crazy. Who would say that? It can look like excuses like, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, I need more time, I can't afford XYZ, which there's nuance, right? Because some things you might not be ready for. Like if you think you can read a book and automatically go and do brain surgery, you're not ready for that. You need some specialized training. But there are so many other things that you are primed to step into to do that you're psyching yourself out for. You might think, I'm not ready for this next level of my career because I need all of these other things in place. And it's probably imposter syndrome, right? You might think, oh, I can't afford to eat better or hire a trainer or hire a coach like me. But you go out and spend all of your money on stupid shit, like really cheap clothing from Shein or whatever, or going out every single weekend, spending all this money on alcohol. And that's your choice, right? I'm not here to shame your choices. I just am inviting you to be really honest with yourself about what you truly value versus what you think that you value. Another way this fear of success and the pattern of self sabotage shows up is in waiting for the perfect moment. You might tell yourself, I'll do this later when I fit into those jeans I used to wear in high school, or when I have XYZ together, when I have this amount saved up, when I am fully healed. I hear that so many times. I will do this when I'm fully healed. There's no fully healing in this human experience. There are levels to it, and you can definitely progress and grow. But it's just, it's self sabotage to wait for the perfect conditions to do anything because life will never be perfect. There's always going to be something happening that feels a little heavy or stressful or to the human mind is a hindrance when it's really an opportunity to grow through it. And then the last way I found that people really sabotage success is by avoiding accountability, right? So they want the positives of it. They want their life to change. They might want to make a lot of money. Maybe you're here. You might want to ascend in your career, have all of these beautiful, shiny things on the outside. So you'll listen to a live like this. You'll scroll through social media. You'll like things. You'll save them. You'll consume free content. but you never acknowledge what you actually need to work on, because that means that you would have to change something about yourself. And I totally get that, because sometimes we can feel like admitting that we have to change something means that there's something wrong with us. And I want to tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not that you're a terrible person. It's that you've recognized your patterns, the comfort zone that you've put yourself in this life. It's not serving you anymore. So you've been self-sabotaging because it is easier to stay where you're at, stay in that place that's comfortable, even if you know it's harming you. Because in order to change and to transform, you would have to step up. You'd have to do something differently. You'd have to commit to yourself the way that you want everything else to commit to you. That's the thing about this life. When you choose you, when you decide to step into another frequency of being, of living, of operating, the rest of the world reflects that onto you. And then you're not having to grasp at straws. You're not having to look around and try and figure out, oh, look, this person has this person has that, they have that. I want it too. How can I get it? No, you will become the magnet that effortlessly attracts. So I've been talking about all these ways that we self-sabotage: the fear of success, the excuse making, the waiting for perfect conditions, avoiding accountability. Those are the main four that I see time and time again. But I also want to share with you some real life examples of what that looks like, right? So I'm looking back to my notes again. And I have, so this is very recent, but I've had people reach out to me, even from like social media networking events, reach out. They want to have coffee together. They want to chat XYZ. We're going back and forth. And then when it comes time to commit, it's like they freeze, they pull back. They get so close to receiving the support and the transformation and all of these things that they've desired, and then they just stop. And with some of you, if you've been there, you know who you are. We've been able to work through it and really help you create that structure that you've been looking for in order to undergo this transformation. But others just stay there and they watch time and time again. And they say, I want that. I love this. This is so inspirational. But year after year, they come back to me. It happens so much. I just had a woman come back to me after 5 years of just liking everything. She almost got into a program 5 years ago, and now she's back doing the same thing. And I had to be really honest with her. And I was like, are you not tired of this? Are you not tired of sabotaging yourself, of finding all of these excuses as to why you can't change and staying stuck in the energy of wanting it, but never actually having it? And you know what? That she needed it. She needed to be called out and felt it. It's like, oh my gosh, you're right. It's been half a decade and I'm doing the same thing, telling myself I will wait until it's this time. And then it'll be perfect for me to go about living my dreams. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have this live. It's not to shame you or make you feel bad about yourself, because I've been there too. There's so many things I've self-sabotaged in my life that I look back on and I'm like, what the hell? I was so afraid of everything that I ever wanted, because underneath all of those things I gave you, right? Like the excuses and the waiting for perfect conditions and the, you know, wanting to be in that comfort zone. Beneath all of that, there's one common wound when you self-sabotage, and it is a feeling of unworthiness. So you'll do all the things, right? You'll fear the success, you'll make excuses, avoid accountability, wait for perfect conditions because you don't feel like you're worthy as you are right now to have that, to embody that. Because you've been so used to proving yourself to everyone around you. This community is full of high achievers. I see you guys, you're doing amazing things. You're starting movements, running businesses, managing large projects and teams in corporate. I see that. Underneath it all, despite the shiny things that you've accomplished, the awards, the degrees, the travel, you feel like you don't deserve it. And part of the reason you're working so hard is because you are trying to prove that you have value. How does it feel to sit with that, right? I see we've had some people join. I wasn't looking at the chat. We have Kwame, we have Ashley. Hi Ari. We are talking about the reasons people self-sabotage and why you might be self-sabotaging. We talked about the few I'm also live on YouTube, so I'm going back and forth. But the few patterns that I've noticed in myself, in my clients, in chatting with you guys here on socials, there's a fear of success, right? Feeling like the struggle is so familiar and it's comfortable. It's what you know. And some part of you wants to hold on to that because you don't know who you are without it. There's the excuse making. And it really is just when we make excuses, we are reinforcing all the reasons why we think we don't deserve something. There's waiting for perfect conditions, which never comes because we're humans. This life is never perfect. And then there's the avoiding accountability because we feel like if we acknowledge we have to change, it means that there's something wrong with us. But there's nothing wrong with you. It's not that you're a bad person or that you're inherently XYZ. Fill in all of the ways you might negatively speak to yourself. It's not that. When you choose to undergo some sort of transformation, it is you deciding that what you see around you, the physical environment, the patterns that you have, they aren't serving where you want to go. So when we can divorce our identity from that, it makes it a lot easier. So there is this truth that growing requires some action, right? Just dreaming about it isn't really going to make the needle move. Watching other people live that life doesn't quite do it either. It's about you committing to yourself and deciding, I am worth it. I am worth everything I've ever dreamed of. And I am willing to release and transmute whatever I have around me in order to receive that, in order to embody the woman who receives that. Hi, Zay. We are chatting about self sabotage. And I can so relate. This life that you guys see me living, even like the little pieces on social media, right? Because it's not real life. Social media is a highlight reel. But all of this, I tried to self sabotage. Some of it I did self sabotage in many ways. But There have been times where I didn't feel like I was worthy. It wasn't the right time. Like I had to line up all of these other things in a row. I had all these excuses, right? And it took some inner reflection, just simply looking at myself. Like, why can't I receive this? Having a coach hold me, much like I love holding space for you guys. And someone really close to me saying, you told me that this is everything you wanted, right? When different opportunities would come in. Why are you finding flaws in it? Why are you looking for reasons to implode your life? It's because, as I said this earlier in the live, as high achievers, we feel like we have to prove our worth to receive something. And if we don't feel like we're worthy, then we will look for all the reasons why this opportunity and that friendship and this person who wants to love us and even this outfit doesn't work, because we are projecting all of that internal darkness onto the external world. At some point, you have to make a move. Hi, Shay. We're chatting about self sabotage. Shay is one of my private clients, and this is something we've been chatting about in our Telegram. I think this is timely, but having this having this life that you desire, whatever it looks like, because it's different for everybody. It's not about luck. It's not that you're even proving to the outside world that you're worthy of it. It's about you accepting your divine, it's like a divine role as a woman to be able to birth anything that you imagine. It really is a process like birth. Whether you physically conceive and birth and raise children or not, you still have that capacity to create anything that you desire. I feel like there's so much I want to say, and there's so much on these notes. Let me try and synthesize them. Here's the point. There is no soft life or dream job or wealth or healthy love and friendships and romantic relationships without risk. You're here because you know that what you've been doing hasn't been working. And the biggest risk right now is honestly staying where you are. It's so funny. I almost didn't want to do this live. I'm here on Instagram and YouTube. So as you join, you might see my eyes going back and forth, because I was like, no, I don't need to. I used to go live a lot. Life's changed. But I sat down and I meditated and I felt that same urge, the same thing I'm telling you right now. There's something more in me to be shared. And the biggest risk was not showing up here for you today. I want to take a nap. I was like, no, I need to do this. So if this has been resonating, we're almost done here. If this has been resonating, then it's time to stop playing small. I want you to imagine the woman that you'll be in 6 months. What does she look like? How does she spend her time? How does she show up for herself? And now I invite you to look at the life you're living right now. Do you think that you're on the path to being that dream woman, to helping her rise up? Because she's already within you. If you're ready for deeper support, there is a program that I ran last year, and it was intense. We were in that container for like 9 months, literally rebirthing ourselves. It's called Coronation. And if you're on this live, I'm just inviting you to, let's call it the pre-registration. But this is designed to help you create that life, that career, that business, that structure that allows you to rise up as the queen you are. So many people have these misconceptions that to live a softer life means that you need to be in a romantic relationship with someone who takes care of you. And that does help. I'm not going to lie, right? It does help. But I have been intentionally creating this life for myself way before I ever met this man. He's just the icing on the cake, right? I had that sense of worth and value. Hi, Kima. I think this is Jakima. Hi. I had that sense of worth and value that I deserved to live a life that was softer and that I also still deserve to be successful. It's funny that this live ends up being, right now, it's just Black women in this group. And it's so timely because we have all been raised with this programming that we have to struggle for anything. You hear this black tax thing. We have to struggle, work twice as hard just to be seen as worthy. And it's not true. There's another way available for us. It takes the deprogramming. It takes looking at the fear of success, all the excuses we've been making, all the self-sabotaging, in order to write a new story for ourselves. So if you're ready, you can send a message to me just with the word live, so I know that you've been here on the live. This program is going to make you really face a lot of your stuff. Even when I was facilitating it last year, I went through my own journey of transformation. And I said this in the beginning of the live, right? Every time you get to a next level, you're asked to heal even deeper. So I was like, oh, I mastered all of this stuff. It's fine. Life was like, oh, yeah, you mastered it. Did you master it on this level? Did you master it on the next one? So it's really great. Women in there have landed their dream jobs, have gotten raises. One woman was promoted twice in the 9 months, right? She just started showing up in the office differently. She went from an associate to a manager, like amazing. There's a lot of real growth in there. And I invite you to join because I know that you deserve it. But do you believe that you deserve it? So that's all for me today. I have to get back to a few things. Thank you for joining me on this live. I think I'm going to start going live again pretty regularly. I used to do it a while back, but I took a break because I love writing and doing other things. This has been fun. I will see you on the next one. Peace. That was great. Oh my gosh, I had like 10 people there. And we're still live on YouTube. Okay, bye, YouTube.